Okay, I've put the dots in. The way you do that basically is you put them in place, push them down. I use the end of a wooden chisel just to push them in place. You don't want to crack them or damage them. And then you actually squirt super glue around them. And the super glue soaks down the sides and sticks them in place. And then you've got to sand them. Now, the fretboard is currently it's square, and it needs a radius on it, which is what this is. This is a radius block. You can see that it's got two radiuses on it, a 16 inch and a 14 inch. I'm using the 16 inch, and basically I've got to sand the whole thing. I've started doing it. It's starting to look a bit tidy, but it's one of these jobs that looks a mess when you first start, and then you just keep going and going and going at it, and at the end of it you should end up with a very nice fretboard. But this is like sanding cast iron. It's bloody hard work. So I'm going to do this and just carry on sanding it, and I'll let you have a look when it's finished. But I think it's going to look good. The spacings look right, and I've got quite a lot of these abalone dots. I've picked out the nicest ones to try and give it a little bit of character, and hopefully it'll look okay. So it sands beautifully, this abalone. It just sands just like that good quality wood. And obviously I'm using an 80 grit sandpaper at the moment, just to take it down to the shape I need, and then I'll use a couple of finer ones and finish off with a finishing sandpaper on that, and then I'll put some lemon oil on it, and it should look the bee's knees when it's finished. And I'll let you have a look when it's done. Okay, right. I've sanded it. I've profiled the 16 inch radius onto the fretboard now. I think it looks pretty good actually. I'll just see if I can get you a bit closer on that so you can see what it looks like. Yeah, I'm really pleased with that. It looks lovely. I've left this bit on there. That's got to be cut off, and that's got to be cut off. But I'm just leaving that one there for protection at the moment. I might just turn the edges over slightly, just sand those around, give a little bit of smoothness to it for when I'm actually playing it. Doesn't need much, just a little bit, just take it off the edge, and then I'm going to put the frets in, which will be a lovely, interesting little job. Great. But yeah, that's good, that is. I've used 3 different grits. I finished with a 400 grit sandpaper on that. Once I put the frets in, I'll give it a little coat of lemon oil just to bring out the depth of the wood. It's a lovely piece of wood, it really is. Okay. Okay. This is the face of this is about finished now. I'm really pleased with it. I'm now going to put the side dots on, and then we'll start putting frets in. When I put the frets in, I only go down to the 12th fret. I might go to the 14th, and the rest of the frets are put in after this is fitted to the neck. As I said before, I've got a pre-made neck here. It's got to have a truss rod fitted yet. This will be fitted onto it here. As you can see, well, you can probably see, it is quite a bit oversized. There's a lot of cutting to do. That is far too thick. That's got to be trimmed right down, all the way down, and shaped properly. This is just very roughly cut. They've put like a Martin's type what's it on there, which I might shave that off. I'll see how we go with that. That's for the future. This is for now. So I just thought I'd show you what's what, and I'll start doing the side markers. Usual thing, tape it along, mark it very carefully, and then I've got to drill some 2mm holes for the side markers. I've stuck some masking tape just along the edge, and I'm going to mark off the frets which I need to put the markers on. If you can see this, I'll try and do it where you can see what I'm doing. Sharpen the pencil. Now one of them is going to have 2 dots on, which is going to be the 12th fret. It's going to have 2 on there. The rest are just going to have 1. In fact, no, I'll put 2 on here as well, I think. So the ones which have got the extra dots on the front will have the extra dots on the side, so it's the 5th and the 12th. I'll mark this off now, point it up, and I'll get the old drill press out again and do some trial holes. Right, I've marked this out now. Basically, I put some masking tape just down the side here, mark the fret positions, and then mark the centre point there. I've put a small barrel point hole in where the drill's going to go. That's got 2, that's got 1, that's got 1, that's got 2, and that's got 1. These are quite tricky to do, but they're not quite so crucial because you can get away with an awful lot more on this than you can on the front ones. But we'll try and get it right first time. Hopefully. So I'll just set up the drill press again and we'll have another go. Just thought I'd show you one of these. If you can see that, that is the actual fret marker. They're absolutely tiny. They're only about, what, probably less than 1 millimetre thick. So they look so tiny and insignificant. Once actually in place on the guitar, they look cracking. But they're very easy to lose, especially when you're not very careful with them. Right, I'll start sorting these out now, drilling the holes. Okay, here we go. I've done one, which wasn't brilliant successful, but it's okay, it'll be alright. But I've got everything else set up now to do the rest of them, so I'm going to start these. So you might find this a bit noisy and a bit boring, but here we go. And that's it. That's my holes all drilled. Take the masking tape off, put some glue in. I'm going to be slightly different. I'm not using super glue on these. I'm using like Bostik type glue. Fill the holes with glue, shove the things in. They'll stand proud. Let it dry probably overnight, and then sand it flat. And that should be okay. And they're nicely lined up. Yep, looking good. Okay, well, they're in. As you can see, it looks a horrible, horrible mess. But that's the way it will look until I've sanded it down. But I can't sand it down because I'm using one of these types of glues, which they're like a rubbery type of glue. I have to really let it go off properly hard before I can sand it down properly. So that'll probably be tomorrow now, which means it's going to be tomorrow before I can start putting the frets in. But patience is the name of the game. While I'm waiting for the glue to dry, I thought I might as well just show you this. This is a truss rod. Most modern guitars have a truss rod. Just goes in the neck. It does a couple of things. It supports the neck, it gives some strength to the neck, but it also allows you to adjust the relief. That is the bowing in the neck. You need a little bit of a bow in it so the strings don't buzz. Now most truss rods will only bring the neck forward. Obviously if you release them it'll go back, but it won't actually move the neck backwards from its normal poise. This is a two-way truss rod. It's got two bars in it. If you turn it one way it brings the neck forward, turn it the other way it turns the neck backwards. And what you do, basically that fits in the slot that's already been routed into the neck for me, and then you have to fill it, the gap, with this little filler piece so it doesn't move. That's got to be glued in place, and then the truss rod just pokes out the end there. That pokes into the guitar here, and you can adjust it with a spanner. Now I'll just show you this. Because of the bracing on the soundboard, you can't actually see the truss rod hole. A lot of people think they haven't got a truss rod in the guitar because they can't see one, but it is there almost invariably. But you can get one of these, which is an offset truss rod key. You put it through the sound hole normally. That hooks around the bracing, that fits in there, and you adjust the tension on it with that. Quite simple, but a very good idea. Like most good ideas are simple. So I'm going to glue this in place, get that ready, because it saves a little job, and then I have to file this down or plane it so it's all level. It's just make sure it is level, because it's all going to be covered up anyway, because there's going to be like once that's done there'll be this over the top of it, there'll be the fretboard on top of that, so you ain't going to see much of it, you ain't going to see any of it, but there's no excuse for not trying to do it properly. Okay, I've finished the fretboard. Dots are all in, look nice, smooth as silk. It's really, really nice, that is. So that's ready for fretting now. I've put a filler piece in there, planed it down and sanded it so that's all smooth. So that's ready for the truss rod fitting, and once this has been fretted, that's going to be glued on. So a couple of interesting little jobs. I'm going to call the video day there. The next one I'll start putting the fret wire in, chopping the fret wire up and banging it into this. Show you how that's done. Like I say, that's all for tomorrow.